Happy Wednesday. This is super impromptu and random, but I am missing Vlogmas, so I wanted to get on here. I don't know if anybody will get on. It's kind of like the middle of the day, but I am working on planners right now, and I'm kind of sitting in one spot for a little bit while I do a few things. So I wanted to just get on here and answer some of the questions that I have gotten over Vlogmas that I haven't gotten a chance to answer yet. Some of them I have answered, but I just haven't posted the video yet. So there will be some vlogs coming where I answer some questions as well. But hi, I just wanted to get on here and just chat with you guys. I just really wanted to get on and go live while I work on these. So again, I have some questions that I'm going to be answering from just what people have submitted that I haven't got a chance to answer yet. Some of them will be answered in vlogs coming up for Vlogmas, but there's some that I probably won't get to since I took this pause with working and everything. So if you are watching this, this is a Q&A, so feel free to ask me anything you want. I'm an open book if you have questions about business or anything like that. Oh, hey Takia. Yeah, I was literally just on Instagram live on my Stationery Muse page, just checking to see if my comments were working on there. For some reason, my account for the Stationery Muse, anytime I would go live on there on Instagram, the comments were not on there, and it was really strange. I don't know what that was about, but the whole like beauty of going live is like the interaction with people. So it was just really strange I didn't have comments on there, but it's working, so I was happy. I just wanted to check that and see. So now I wanted to get on here and have some fun, talk to you guys for a little bit and answer some of the questions. So I am working on planners, so if I'm looking down, that's why. But I'm going to answer some of the questions, and then if you have any questions to ask me, again, please feel free to ask me anything. I can even do some business coaching tips or anything. If you have something, ask away. Hi Jennifer, thank you for joining. Hope everybody's having a good day so far. Today for me has definitely been a little bit hectic. I'm trying to get all of these orders out. Well, not trying to, I'm getting all of these orders out tomorrow. So I'm really excited. Oh, you're watching from Quebec. Well, welcome. That's very exciting, and thanks for tuning in. Let's see. Okay. Making some progress. The one thing that's really interesting about doing these laminated covers is definitely that sometimes things get stuck in the cover, so I'm always trying to like make sure that there's not like a piece of lint or something in here. But no, it looks good. Okay. But hi, thanks for tuning in. Okay, so I'm gonna look at some of these questions. If you guys think of a question, please ask me, but if not, I'm gonna just answer these. I'm gonna keep this video up so then that way if someone asks a question, they'll be able to see what the response was. So let's see. Hi from London. That's so cool. Hello. Okay. So I'm looking at questions. Let's see. Okay, so someone asked us, her name is Angelica Christine. She asked, do you think having a Shopify site is better than having an Etsy storefront? And so I would say one is not really better than the other. To me, they're very different, so it's kind of hard to really compare Etsy to Shopify. But as far as if one is better than the other, the main thing I would say is to just kind of weigh out the options of what you're looking for. So if you are wanting to kind of have like your own website, like where you go to the stationerymuse.com, for example, and I kind of have like my own template, if you want to call it that. That's basically kind of where Shopify is a little bit different. Whereas Etsy, if you've been on Etsy, Etsy kind of has its own platform, similar to like Amazon or another e-commerce place. And then basically what you would do is you would just have your products on there, but it's not necessarily your personalized look. As far as like fees and different things like that, they both have fees. Shopify, what I really love about Shopify is the apps. Personally, I think that's something that's really unique about them. They have thousands of apps you can choose from to use on your Shopify site, And it could be anything from, like maybe automation type of things. So maybe after somebody places an order, then they receive an email from you within a certain time frame, and then they get asked to fill out a review about your product. Or it could be, like a chat bot. So when somebody gets on the site and they have a question, and it sends you like a little chat. There's so many different ones. I've had one for subscription boxes. I have one right now on my site for when people purchase a planner. And then if they do customization, there's actually an app that allows for them to type it in, and they can get a preview in real time of what it would look like. So there's a lot of different apps on there. And from what I know, I'm pretty sure that's not available on Etsy. So I think it just depends on what you're looking for. I think that Etsy is a great place to get started on. I think it's a great place to grow on and even be on once you really get up there, because it never hurts to have your business on there. You still have to put in the work and of course promote and different things like that. But a lot of people shop on Etsy, so you have a better chance of people coming across your business versus your Shopify site. It's not like Shopify is really like as much of a marketplace that people go to like Etsy or Amazon, for example. So you do have to kind of keep that in mind, but it really just kind of comes down to your needs. Again, they both have fees. They both have pros and cons. I know Shopify's customer service is great. Like anytime I've had issue, even if it really didn't have nothing to do with them, they still helped me out. So I have nothing but good things to say about Shopify. I've been on there since 2016. And I had an Etsy shop from 2016 to 2019, I think, for a decent amount of time. I was thinking about actually getting back on Etsy again, but maybe just having like drop shipping items on there. So I don't know. I might get back on there again eventually. But I would just strongly suggest just kind of weighing out your options. I've been looking at this cover for way too long to make sure that it's good. But just weigh out your options to make sure that you're getting the best one. But in terms of if one's better than the other, I really can't say, because it depends on what you're trying to do. Okay, so let's see. Next question is from J Rose. Jennifer said, did you start selling first on Etsy, then you created your website? Yes. So I started on Etsy first. And I did that just because, honestly, that was just really the only thing I knew about at the time. I really didn't know a whole lot about Shopify. It was really foreign to me. So I went ahead and did Etsy, and it's great. I enjoyed it. It's just an easy thing to get on and set up. You don't have to do a whole lot to get started on there. Once you kind of just have like all of your little business things that they ask you, like your EIN number and different things like that. Once you have all that stuff, you can get on there, and it's pretty easy to get started and set up on there. But yes, that's definitely where I started. And then is it Antramom? I love that name. What is the best way to drive traffic to your site? Yes, so there's a lot of different things you can do. The biggest thing I always say is to really just kind of pick your platform. Pick what you like to be on, whether that is as a content consumer yourself. Like me personally, y'all, I do like Instagram. I'm not really a Facebook fan as much, but I do like Instagram. But there's nothing like YouTube for me. Like I'm on YouTube a lot, and so it's a natural fit for me to also use YouTube as my platform where I come and share value and everything like that, but also promote when necessary. So I think that once you kind of pick your platform, it's important to really provide your audience with some value. And value really just looks like anything that's outside of just asking them for a sale all the time. So just like how I'm on here right now, I'm just doing a Q&A. I'm not necessarily asking you guys for anything, but I wanted to answer questions. So that's just an example of value. And so I try to do that as much as possible on my channel. And so think of ways that you can do that with your audience depending on your niche. If you have a specific topic that you are an expert in, especially if it's around maybe like what your business is catered to. So let's just say if your business is about self-love and maybe you have self-care journals, for example, there's so many different things you can talk about in terms of just self-care. I'm trying to turn this thing down. In terms of self-care and giving tips and suggestions and sharing routines and different things like that. We're not necessarily saying, hey, buy my journal, but you're giving your audience some value. And that's really where you start to create the trust. And of course, a whole launch strategy is important. Having an email opt-in is a great way to do all of these things. And even though none of these are directly related to the site traffic, naturally people are going to be curious and want to go to your website. They're going to want to shop with you and different things like that. But that's just a little bit of what I would say as far as driving traffic. Now, of course, you can do ads and different things like that. But I feel that it's always easier to grow organically first. Because doing ads can be very expensive. It definitely takes some strategy to, figure all of that out as well. So hopefully that kind of helped a little bit. Hi. Hello. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. I'm just kind of going through while I'm working and answering some questions. Let's see. Okay, so I have another one in here from some previous questions that were asked. This is from, oh wait, I answered that already in a video coming up. Let's see. Let's see, y'all. Okay, I think I answered that too. Oh, okay, good question. I know you love the PowerSheets. What is the difference between those and your planners? Oh my gosh, a huge difference. So the PowerSheets is not really a planner per se. They actually did recently start calling it a goal planner, but before that they called it the PowerSheets. And so basically what they do is they walk you through, they have like a whole section in the front that they call prep work, and you really walk through what you kind of envision for your year. So for the PowerSheets, it could be used for personal life, it could be used for business, it could be used for both. But what it does is it helps you to kind of assess where you are currently, what are some things you want to do better, and most importantly, what are your goals for the upcoming year. And then what they do is they have a section for every single month, so you can go on there, you can check in every month and kind of see where you are with your goals. You can refresh it every quarter, and then they have what they call the tending list, which I feel is like the heart of it in a way. And that is really where you get to go in every month and you can write down your monthly, weekly, and your daily habits. So it's definitely a lot different from most planners because most planners aren't really set up that way. This one is, to me, I think it's perfect to use in conjunction with a planner. And I'm not even saying my planner, but just with a planner. So even before I created my planner, I still had a planner and my PowerSheets because there's no weekly sections in the PowerSheets. So you still kind of need something to supplement that, if you need those extra types of planning pages. But when I tell you I'm obsessed with my PowerSheets, I'm excited. I finally did work through them. I still need to fill out my goal action pages in there, but I have the goals I want for the year. I decided to just use it for my personal life this year instead of doing it for both personal and business because it was just getting to be too much with both. But my word for the year is faith, so I'm really excited about that. Let me see. Okay, so I just wanted to ask which machine is better between the Heidi Swap and the normal cinch. I feel like that was a question that was in here. Yes, so that's actually a good question. The only thing I would say, I have the Heidi Swap one, so I'm not sure, and I don't really think there is much of a difference other than that they have like the Heidi Swap colors and branding on there. I could be wrong. And I know that the cinch has a couple of different options. So you have the one with kind of like the square holes, which is like the Heidi Swap one, but I believe they have one that's not Heidi Swap. There's one with the circular holes if you would prefer that look. There's different pitch ratios, which basically means like how much distance is in between each of the little coils. So I would just kind of read up on it, see what you're wanting. But there's not really like a huge difference. It just depends on which one you're looking at, I guess, would be the main thing. But the one that I have is with the square holes, and it's a 2-to-1 pitch ratio. Okay, let me see here if there's any more questions before I read the ones on here, because I'm trying to, y'all, when I say I'm trying to juggle it all, but just trying to stay above water. Okay, I feel like I might have answered most of them then. And then if I didn't answer your question in this video, just know that it's coming up in a future vlog because I have 2 vlogs that are already filmed. I just haven't had a chance to edit them yet, and I answer questions in both of those vlogs. Okay, so let's see on here. So this is Miss V. Hey. Oh wait, hold on. Before Miss V, sorry. Entre Mom said, "What is the best way to start an online business with limited funds?" So it's funny you said that. I'm actually going to be filming a video about this that'll be coming out in January, but I'll give you some insight with that now. So, yeah, I think the biggest thing with the limited funds is just kind of thinking about how you can do it without having to really have anything necessarily that you're doing by hand. There's so many different options now, especially when it comes to what you're trying to do. So I don't know what type of business you're trying to start. If it is a stationery or a product-based business, I would definitely look into drop shipping, because there's a variety of different products that you can get through drop shipping, whether it's apparel, stationery, actual items like cards, notebooks, binders, like all kinds of different things like that. Tumblers, mugs, like it goes on. And you could figure out kind of like whatever your product is going to be. What's nice about drop shipping companies is they take care of everything for you. They take care of the shipping, they make the product for you, and you don't have to pay a dime for that to happen. So you basically wouldn't pay until somebody actually places an order. And then once they place the order, the drop shipping company will take their cut out, because of course for their costs and their labor, and then you would get the rest. So that would be probably my number one suggestion in a product-based side of things, is to look into drop shipping, find a company that has the product you're trying to offer. I would recommend purchasing a sample of that product just to make sure that you like the quality and you feel that it's going to be good for your customers before you just sell it. If you're able to, in most companies, like I know like Printify and Printful, they will allow for you to, why am I just sitting here? I need to still be doing stuff. They will allow for you to get samples at a discount. So look into that. Now, if you're more so trying to do a business that's not product based, and you did say online based, if you're looking for, hold on, where are my covers? Oh, here we go. If you're looking for something more like where you want to do courses or just more digital type of products, the sky is really the limit with digital products. Even with like business coaching, I feel like you have so much more potential for your earnings because your overhead is not as high. You don't have, you don't have physical products when you do things like that. So it really, that you can really get away with doing a ton of things at little to no cost, just depending on what you're doing. So if you tell me a little bit more specifically on what type of business, I might be able to help more. Okay, so Miss V said, tips on finding vendors to make stationery items you design. Yes. So I think it just depends on where you want to get them made. There's a lot of vendors in the United States. There's a lot of vendors overseas. So it just depends on what you're comfortable with. I've worked with clients that just do not want to work with overseas, and so we make sure that we find them somewhere that's in the United States. And then there's some companies where it might be a little bit more hands-on versus where they take care of everything for you. So a great example of this would be, let's just say like if you wanted to just basically, you have a file, you just want to upload it and get it printed somewhere. You don't really care a whole lot. Like, you care, but you're not really concerned too much about like the looks per se, and you kind of just want someone else to do it for you. You could even look into like Amazon. I don't know if they changed it, but it was called like, I think KDB. I've had a few clients that have gone that route because they just really didn't desire to get into all of the hand making or even like, just getting into all of the specific details of everything. So that could be an option. Another one would be Lulu, which is really similar to that. They also do distribution for you, so you could have it sold on Amazon and Barnes and Noble and things like that. But then if you're looking for something a little bit more of like a custom look, I would say definitely consider Alibaba, which will be overseas, of course. But you're gonna get so many different options, from like specialty coil colors to, maybe you want to have a certain type of binding and you want to have like a sticker page in there and all of these different things. You can do it in the United States, but it is usually a lot more expensive in the United States per item, just because it's the United States, which is nice, if you're able to do it here. But if not, I would say look on Alibaba. And as far as like how to find the best vendor on there, I always, anytime I get anything off of Alibaba or AliExpress, I always just really read the reviews. I take my time just see, what their ratings are and different things like that to kind of make a decision. And what I usually will do is I'll do a test purchase sometimes with stuff, and I might just order something just to see what happens. Nowadays, I haven't ordered anything from overseas in a little bit due to just everything going on, but I know there are a lot of delays, so that's something to keep in mind if you're planning on doing something overseas. You might want to just make sure you have the order in early enough so that you're not like having to push back your launch date or anything like that. So I hope that answers. Let me see. Let's see. I'd like to design notebook covers, stickers, folders, etc. I'm a pattern designer. Oh, cool. Another one I would say to check out would be, especially because you said folders, check out Stationery HQ, because they have a lot of different types of products on there, and including notebooks. They have folders, binders. I use them all the time. I've been using them since almost like day one of my business. I've gotten cards made from them. So that might be a great kind of one-stop shop place for you, where you can get them to, you design it and then they create it for you. And the quality is really, really, really good. And they are in the United States as well. Okay, so Sketches and Scrubs said, I have a vision for a stationery brand, but feel like things I make myself aren't of quality I want, and third parties are so expensive because of minimum order quantities. Any advice? Yeah. So I think the biggest thing I'll say is a lot of times we will be really hard on ourselves about the handmade stuff. And again, I always say this to anyone that I work with or just anyone in general. You have to kind of work at some of that stuff. Like even for me, I'm a creative person, but I wouldn't say that like I'm the best with all things handmade. And so doing these planners, this was really a skill that I had to learn and perfect and do to really get comfortable with it. So like my first planner I made last year, when I was just kind of making one to test it out and see, it was not that great. There was a lot of issues with it. There was some problems. And then as I started to make them, I noticed ways I could do things better. I noticed how I could be more efficient, and it ended up getting better as I perfected the process. So I just want to share that part first, just because sometimes it just takes a little bit more than just trying something one time and it not looking good. It just might be a matter of giving it another go or really working at it a little bit more. But as far as working with a third-party company, so I mentioned that Stationery HQ company is an example of this. You literally can just order one from them. There's no minimum order quantity for them. Now, I don't know exactly what type of product you're doing, and that may vary depending on if Stationery HQ would be a good fit for you. But it just depends on what types of things you're trying to make, I guess, to know how to explain or to give you better advice with that. But the biggest thing I would say is don't be so hard on yourself. I'm sure you probably can. It's just a matter of trial and error. Okay, hey Takia said, I am so bad with the showing up part. I know you always say you really need to show up for your business. I did go to complete your fear module, but when I submitted my info, it redirected me. Oh no, I think one with the round holes and one has a square hole. Yeah, oh, you're talking about the machines. Yeah, so there's different, that was kind of what I was saying, I think. There's different holes. So it just kind of, it really depends on what the finished product is that you want. A lot of people ask me all the time, like, well, what made you go with the cinch? And when I tell y'all that when I bought the cinch, I didn't buy it because I was making a planner. I literally just bought it because I was curious about it. I had seen people using it, and it sat in my office for about a year before I ever touched it. So it wasn't like this strategic decision I made on going with the cinch. It's what I ended up having, and it works for what I'm doing. But as far as the showing up and the fear thing, I'll look into the fear thing because I'm not sure why I redirected you. I know we're in the process of switching over my email platform, so that might be why that's going on, but I'll definitely check. And as far as let me see. Yes, the showing up part, I mean, honestly, even for me, it's hard to show up. And I'm getting ready to take a break here in a little bit because it's a lot to show up. So, be easy with yourself. And I always just think it's good to just try to come up with what your definition of consistency is. So you might see somebody else that's like literally they post 7 days a week and they're going live every day and they have a new video every other day and all these different things. And while that's all great for them, that's not really realistic for a lot of us, you know, that have other things going on. We got kids, we got jobs, we have spouses, and, you know, just a lot of different things to take care of. And so it's not always realistic to say, I'm going to show up every single day. But if you kind of define what showing up means for you in terms of like how often you're able to do something, then that's good. That's your best, and that's good enough. So yeah, definitely just try to look at it that way and define how you want to run things. That's what's really the beauty about having your own business, because you run the show. So it's really nice. Sorry if that was loud. I don't know why that was so loud. Okay, let's see. Not business related, but where did you get your floor lamp? Oh, girl, yes, my lamp. Wait, my head has covered it. Over there. It's from Target. And it actually was not that expensive. I want to say it was maybe like $59.99, which is kind of up there, but I mean, it's a really nice floor lamp, and it's like a pretty, I keep doing the wrong way. It's a pretty high quality looking lamp, and it's a white, well, actually, never mind. I had to buy the bulbs, so that doesn't even matter, but I got some bulbs that kind of let off like a white light. But thank you. It was one of the first things I got for this office. I've been slowly trying to decorate it. Let's see, course creation or worksheet products. Oh, okay, cool. So yeah, for that, I'm just telling y'all, like, I know that I talk about starting stationery businesses, but just to give y'all the real, like, if you are able to do some type of digital something, I mean, whether it's coaching, whether it's doing courses, whether it's doing, maybe you have like a service that you offer, the potential for your growth and what you can do with that is just so much greater. I launched my handmade planner masterclass course over the spring. I think it was in April. And the biggest thing I would say about courses is, just as an example, or if you do like a program, or even if you create digital like PDFs or something like that, the part that is the most, what am I trying to say? The part with the most work is the beginning, because you're creating it, you're designing it, you're birthing the idea, you're putting it together, whatever that looks like, depending on what it is. So for that course, I had to film all the videos. I had to build it out in my course platform. So it took some months for me to get everything together and to really get it to be ready to package for someone. I had to create a sales page for it. But on the end now, the course is created. It's been created since April, and people sign up for that course almost every day. I get someone new. At least, I would say at least 3 or 4 days out of the week, someone is signing up for that course. So, and I don't even really talk about it as much, you know? So when you think about just the potential of digital products, and that's just an example that I can give, that's just the easy one to see, because I know most of you probably know about that course. It's little to no effort for me now to be able to make that money back, and I didn't have to pay anything to create that. I had to pay for my course platform, but outside of that, that was it. I mean, I filmed my videos here. I created a little workbook that went with it here myself. I edited all my videos, so there was really no cost on my end. So yeah, if you can do something like that, that is just, it's a smart thing to do. So always try to think of like a digital something you can do if possible. And let's see. Okay, so Miss V463. Sorry, I'm trying to get my computer charger. It's caught on my cords down here. Okay. Said, oh, I read that already. Okay, never mind. Okay, glad I was able to help. What recommendation do you have for planners that have a hard time closing once you bind the planner? I think I'm making them too tight. Yes, the biggest thing I would say with that, this was actually an issue that I ran into last year. So what I did, I had purchased my coils already, and I had already got them. And so I ended up changing the thickness of my hardcover, and I don't know what kind of cover you have, so this may be irrelevant to you, but my cover was like really, really thick. I don't even remember what the millimeters was, but it was really thick. So I went down in the thickness of the cover, and that allowed for it to open up a little bit better. Now, fast forward to year 2 of me doing these planners, I completely got brand new coils and I got the neck size up. So they're 1.5 inches. They were, last year was 1.25 inches. This year is 1.5 inches. And they literally, I don't even have one because I've been literally packing them up as I make them. But they open like, it's so smooth. So the 2 tips I would say, if it's hardcover, maybe decrease the thickness if you've already purchased the coil, see if that helps, or see if there's any way you can lessen the amount of pages inside, if maybe something can be moved to where it's just on 1 page instead of maybe on 2. That would be my suggestion if you've already invested in the coils. But if you're open to getting new coils, I would say go up a size in coils, because yes, it will definitely be an issue with the sizing of it. Let's see, how do you stay consistent for your platform? I have a children's book coming out, but I'm not good with consistent engagement on social media. It's overwhelming. Sunshine, I love your name. Let me grab my little white thing really quick. Oh, it's right here. I don't even got to get up. Okay. Yes, so that's a good question. The biggest thing I would say is, first, it's also very overwhelming for me as well. I always say all the time, and I don't mean this in any way, because I really love being on here with everybody in this community, and you don't understand how much encouragement you guys give me and just help me to just stay motivated. So when I say this, it has nothing to do with really any people. It's more so just me. But I say all the time to like my husband, sorry. Jeez. I need to turn this machine off. It's like a little smoky. Ooh, hold on 1 sec. Okay. If I did not have a business that required me to be on social media, I probably would not be on here. And that's just because it is a lot. It's a lot to have to show up all of the time. Jeez. Okay, sorry y'all. I know you're probably like, dang, is she okay? And it's also not really that great to get something stuck in your throat while you're on live. But anyway, to answer that question, the biggest thing I would say for consistency, so kind of like I was saying earlier, define what consistency is for you. So for me, consistency is showing up a few times a week. I'm on different platforms. I have 2 different businesses. So it would be unrealistic for me to be like, oh, I'm going to show up all 7 days out of the week. So first, just figure out like what days you don't want to do anything. I really don't do a lot on the weekends, typically, just because I really like to enjoy my family time. So decide what that will be. Figure out when you're not going to post first. And then if you decide that you're only going to show up a few times a week or whatever that looks like, I would definitely say more than once a week would be good. But once you decide that, then since you're not going to be doing it a ton, or if you are, whatever the case is, kind of just do what's popular, do what's trending. So the reason for that is because if you're only going to, let's say if you're only posting twice a week, and then you just put like, if you're on Instagram and you just put a picture of your book on there, and then that was it, like it was just a picture of your book. Yeah, I mean, people will probably see that post and they will, like it, or they might, like comment and something like that. But think of how much more exciting it would be if they saw that you put up a reel on Instagram, for example, or a video of like a child, I don't know, like walking to their room and grabbing it out of the bookshelf, and then they're like sitting down and maybe the camera's like showing them like turn the pages. And then maybe there's some text on the screen or something about whatever the book subject matter is or something like that. And then maybe in the caption you have like a place that they can go to learn a little bit more about the book and where they can purchase it. That's just an example. So if you're going to post not as much, make sure what you do post is really valuable. Make sure it's really eye-catching, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. But that's what I would say. But as far as just creating it and not getting overwhelmed, once you kind of figure that out and you know that what you're going to post is like basically that thing, like people are going to love it and want to see it, I would just say set aside some time, 2 different times. Set aside one time to plan out your content, and then set out another time to actually execute it. So whether that's filming it, designing it, or whatever that is. because a lot of times I've been really bad with that, where I will sit down and I'll plan out all the content, but then when it's actually time for it to come up, I'll be looking crazy like, oh, well, I didn't write the caption for this, or oh, shoot, I still got to film this. So try to set 2 different times on your calendar, and then that way you kind of know when to show up for yourself on those days, and then you know that it's done, and you can just kind of bulk film something in one day, and then you might have content for a couple weeks, and then you know you're only going to post twice a week, or you know, whatever the case is. So that's kind of what I do when I'm really like on top of my stuff. I will really do that and just make sure that when you do post, it's impactful and it's really showing the best sides of whatever it is that you want people to see. Okay, Takia, you said you make it look so easy to show up, and it's nice to hear your honesty on how you got to that point. Oh yeah, it's not easy at all though. I definitely, I don't think I make it look easy, but I appreciate that. And it definitely, it gets better with time though, and the more that you start to see how you find your people, I guess is the right thing I'll say. I felt like for a long time I didn't have my people, or like some people call it my tribe, or different things. Once you find that, it feels different, because before that, you know, when you first start a business, it's like, yeah, you're showing up, you know, you're posting things, you're creating new products, but sometimes it's like, does anybody care? You know, like it feels like it's crickets. It feels like you're putting in all the work, you're doing all the videos, you're doing all the reels, pointing at stuff, and like no one is paying you any attention. And I literally felt like that for a few years, you know, to the point where I was like, okay, maybe I shouldn't be doing this business. So I think it's just that in itself, you know, just because I do realize that, because I've been at that point, and I'm not saying you are, Takia, but I know someone out there might be, where you just feel like you've done so much and you don't understand why, you know, you're not booming right now. So I think that's just the biggest thing I would say, is just to kind of take that season and know that it's just for a season, and God does not have you in any place for just to be there for nothing. So if anything, we always learn from our stuff. And so eventually, because I continued to keep showing up and being consistent, even though I was really like, this is just getting pointless, like what am I even still doing this for, nobody cares, I started to put myself out there more. And I remember I sent I'm all over the place, y'all, so I apologize. I can sometimes kind of just start rambling, but I feel like this could be helpful. I was doing my subscription box, and I had been doing my subscription box for, at this point, probably a good maybe 1.5 years or so. And I decided to reach out to Lisa Mac Plans on, she's changed her name now. I think now it's like Everything Alicia. But I don't know if you guys are familiar with Lisa Mac Plans. I know many people in the planner community are. But I reached out to her, and I don't remember how we got connected, but I asked her if I could send her a box. And I sent her that box. And this was also in the midst of, you know, like me posting pretty regularly on YouTube and trying to put myself out there, but it just kind of being like, okay, I sent her that box and everything changed. All of a sudden, my box was selling out. It went from where, and I'm not even playing, it went from me having like 10 people subscribing to my box, like no joke, to it selling out. So it definitely did not happen overnight, and I was scared to send my stuff to people, because I was like, you know, is it good enough? It's handmade. Like, are people gonna really want this? And then I just finally was like, I gotta stop being scared. If I don't do this, nobody else will. If I really want this thing to work, you know, I gotta put myself out there. And so that was kind of a trickle effect. That happened. She posted it. She ended up doing some PR stuff for me. So I would send her products, and then more people would find out about my business. And then I was like featured on different, what was it? Michelle's channel, and just different stuff like that. So sometimes it takes time, but eventually we get to a point where we're like, oh, okay, this is what all this hard work was for. So I hope that encourages you. Okay, so thank you for sharing so much of your journey and tips with us. Wishing you much more abundance. Thank you so much. I'm launching on February, took a leap of faith and left my career to pursue my first passion of art. Came across your channel while researching. Oh, well, congratulations on your new endeavor. And I'm wishing you all the best as well, and hoping that you have a lot of abundance in what you're pursuing, because that's really exciting. It's scary. I recently just left my job as well, so it is very scary, but I think that you'll be just fine. So that's exciting. Thank you for sharing that with us. Okay, PGM said, I think you had a video where you shared your paper type for your hardcovers and how you printed it on the cover. I can't seem to find it. Are your covers matte or glossy? I don't think I have a specific video about it. I have so many videos. I don't even know. But if you're talking about the planners, I'm not sure if that's what you're talking about, but I'm assuming it's the planners. The planners are a matte cover, and they're sticker paper. And then the sticker paper, I spray it with a protective kind of waterproof spray. I'm thinking about probably trying to look into something a little bit different for the next round of planners, but we'll see. Everything takes research and time, right? But yeah, that's basically it. It's just sticker paper. That's a weatherproof sticker paper, and then that's pretty much it. Let's see. I think I say easy to me. You look so comfortable, and knowing from what you shared, you went through trials, and you can just tell you've done inner work. Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, it's been a journey for sure. And I didn't read that out loud, so if somebody watches the replay, you're probably gonna be like, what did you just read? But I was reading the comments. But I appreciate you, Takia. Thank you so much. And just thank you to everybody that just pours into me and gives me encouragement as well, because I always need it too. I'm going through a lot of different things myself, so it's always just really nice to have the support from you guys. Let's see. Kiana. Hi, Kiana. Said, I just finished 40 Days of Faith in it, and a lot has happened. Oh, you got to tell me more about what's 40 Days of Faith. Is it a book? Is it a movie? What is that? I need something. I need something. Just let me know. Faith is actually my word of the year, so I love that. Okay, J Rose said, thank you so much for saying that, showing up the way that fits me. I am forever seeing people showing up every day, and it makes me feel inadequate, so thank you. Oh my gosh, yeah. Shoot, I feel inadequate. Even right now, I have a plan to take a social media break starting next week, and then I'm probably not going to be back until probably like sometime in January. I haven't decided the date yet. But even with that, and I'm working on these planners, and so I know that my priority right now is to get these planners out, right? But I'm seeing all these people posting content, and they're sharing, like, oh, what they're doing with their family for Christmas, and posting about their programs and all this different stuff. And I'm like, I'm just trying to watch my daughter, make sure she's good, and get these planners out. And I keep, like, almost daily, I'm like, oh, I should post something, or oh, I should, like when I paused Vlogmas, I was really upset I paused Vlogmas. But it's like, no, we can't be hard on ourselves. We can't all show up 24/7. It's just unrealistic. And so don't be hard on yourself. You are more than capable of doing what you're able to do, and those people will do what they can do. But yeah, it's a lot. I really cannot wait for that social media break, you guys. I encourage you to do it as well if you are feeling the need for a little bit of a break. Oh, good. I'm glad I was able to help PGM. Yeah, the planner covers, like, none of this is like super intense or anything. It's actually pretty simple. Like when I tell people that they're made with sticker paper, they're always like, what? Really? So yeah, I'm glad I was able to help. Let's see. I do not know how to pronounce that name, but it's A. Brifkany. Thank you for sure. Sorry, trying to do too much at once. Thank you for sure scary, but you're right. Just got to face the fear and have faith. Oh yeah. Definitely have to have the faith, because it was scary to send my box to her. It was scary to message her first to even see if she would be interested, because she could have just been like, I don't want that box. And that happened with some people. There were some people I reached out to, and I was like, hey, I would love to, send you my box to see if, you'd be interested in sharing it with your audience, or, whatever. And some people just either said like flat out no, or they like never even said anything. So, I mean, it definitely can be negative, like you can have a negative response, but still at the end of the day, it's like what's the worst that can really happen? Eventually somebody's going to say yes, and you never know, that one yes could completely change the trajectory of what you have going on. Okay, so let's see. Kiana, you said it was a small personal journey. I meditated on Hebrews 11 for 40 days. I just started my small business and I'm scared. Oh, okay. So, okay, I see. So you kind of did your own 40 days of faith. I love that. I really like that a lot. And tell me, what kind of business are you starting? What kind of business are you starting? Does anybody else have any questions? I want to give you some encouragement, Kiana, but I want to hear a little bit more about what type of small business you're doing. If you're still on here. Hopefully you are. Man, y'all, when I tell you I cannot wait to get these orders out. I cannot wait to get these orders out. I think I'm going to do a run this afternoon, and then I'm going to do another one tomorrow. So then that way people can get shipping notifications as soon as possible. I still just am so upset with how everything went with this, because it was like I already, and this is just real, y'all. It's just me kind of venting for just a hot second, and then I'm going to let it go. I'm going to say this one time, and then I'm going to stop worrying about it because it is what it is. But I originally was supposed to launch my planners. I think it was like a date at the end of September. And it was just so much going on. I shared a little bit about it in my series that I did, but I was just like really anxious. I was busy. It was just a lot of different things going on at that time. And so I was like, okay, well, I'll push it back. So then I pushed it back, and I remember I'm looking at the calendar because I think it's still on there. I think it was supposed to be October 8th. Yes, it was supposed to be October 8th. So it was pushed back. And then October 8th was coming up, and I was still dragging my feet, okay? I don't know what was going on with me, but it was just like I was kind of like, do you really want to do this again? Like, how is this going to go? I was scared of like how many people were going to purchase it, and then having to fulfill the orders and all of this stuff. So I ended up pushing it back again, and that gave me more time to like get all of the details and everything in order, which was nice. But then I did a launch on October 29th. So at that point, that gave me exactly 2 months until January 1st, basically, right? No, yeah, that gave me 2 months. So I sent everything over to my printer because, again, I was kind of behind on everything. This is just me keeping it real with y'all. I was behind because I have a lot of things going on. Like, I have a lot of clients and stuff, so I don't always get to put my business first all the time, which is fine. So I got everything over to the printer, and it was just like they've been very great with me. Like, all this time they've been very great, but it was just weird how like this time there were so many issues from like delays of hearing back from them. And then when I would go there to look at the proof, then it would be like all these issues with the proof. And it happened like 3 times where I was going and it was wrong. The one time I went and there was what they call ghosting on all the pages. So like you would turn it open and there was literally like an imprint from the previous page on the page I was looking at. And it was like that throughout the whole proof. And I was like, okay, did y'all not see this before I came up here to look at this proof? And he was like, oh my God, I didn't know. So then I'm like putting sticky notes on the pages. It was like the whole stack. So that happened. And I see Kiana commenting. I'm going to respond in 1 second. I'm just telling you guys, just so you can get the real of this journey. So then I went back again. The ghosting was fixed, I believe. But there was like the text was cut off on the headers of my planner. And I don't have anything to show you right now, but like on the tops of my pages, there's like different words and things like that. Well, it was cut off. So, and it was like at the top and it was like a little bit was cut. I'm like, well, what? Did y'all not see this again? Like, am I tripping or something? So then they had to go back and do it again. I go back a 3rd time and I'm like, okay, there's no way that they made a mistake. And I'm always a big person. I'm like, oh, 3 times a charm, right? No. I go back again, and this time the paper is not right. The paper feels like I literally just went to somebody's office building and grabbed some paper out of their printer. Like that really thin paper that we have at our jobs. Like that's literally what it felt like. And I'm like, now I know that y'all felt this paper. Like, it was literally like that. And so I've never had any issues with them before. Everything had been smooth, and I've worked with them at this point almost a year and a half now. So I was just like, are you serious? So anyway, this fourth time when I finally went back, the proof was good, but there was somebody that had got sick in their, I think it was the printing department, and they got sick, and basically the whole department was shut down for 2 weeks. So then that pushed back things. The guy, he's kind of like the rep that I worked with. He was kind of like unreachable. I'm sending him an email like, hey, just checking on stuff. Don't hear back 3-4 days. Next thing you know, weeks are going by, and I'm like, okay, I need to get these planners out. Like, do I need to refund everybody back their order? Like, am I going to get my prints? And so finally, I think it's been like a week and a half now, I finally got my prints, y'all. It was like literally a month of going back and forth with them, and I got them at the beginning of this month. So it was just crazy, and I was beating myself up because I was like, oh my gosh, if you wouldn't have waited so long, this wouldn't have happened, and just the whole nine. But it is what it is. And now that I've gotten that out of my system, I'm going to let it go because things happen. And the important part is now it's here. So I see you guys are not paying me any attention in your chat in the comments. So let me see what you guys are saying. Okay, so Kiana said, I want to start a stationery business from home. In 2019, I was diagnosed with MS, and I need something that I can still do and not just sit at home and feel sorry for myself. Well, first of all, I am very sorry to hear that, because I know that MS is very serious. And from my point of view, I'm not even going to sit here and try to act like I can relate. But what I will say, just as a quick touch on that, I definitely understand a bit of how it is when, like, your health, you feel like your body is against you. Mine is on a way smaller scale. But it's not fun. And so I just want to just first send you some encouragement with that, and just knowing that you got this, and, you know, you are so much more than your diagnosis, and you can definitely make anything happen no matter what, even if you have to do it at a little bit of a slower pace, you know. I have a inflammation in my chest that's called costochondritis that I get. And so I'm like really limited on some things I can do. And when it flares up, it feels sometimes like I am literally like I have like 20 pounds sitting on my chest. And like that's how much of a tightness it is. And it just is uncomfortable. And when it gets really bad, like I don't want to do anything but just lay in the bed and basically just cry and be like, why is this happening? But again, I know it's on a smaller scale, but I'm just kind of saying I can kind of understand a little bit of how that feels, because when I have those flare-ups, I just want to like shut down completely and just not do anything. So I wanted to just say that part first. But as far as the business, I think the biggest thing is I would just suggest, you know, of course, take it easy, but just pick kind of one thing to get started with first. So whatever you decide, whether you decide to do journals or you decide to do cards or stickers, I would just kind of pick one thing and really get good with that, for the reason of I feel like it's a lot easier to get clear on one type of product, really get people educated on what you're offering, perfecting how you do it as well, you know, whether if you're hand making it or you're ordering it, shipping it out and all of that. So I would just kind of focus on one product to start and get good with it, and then just be open and honest. I don't know what type of audience you're necessarily trying to attract. Wait, where? I'm always losing something, y'all. This is literally the story of my life. Where's the other covers? Or was that it? I think I'm missing one. But anyway, what was I even saying? I don't know what I was saying, but I remember basically the idea is to definitely, you know, pick one thing that you have that you want to do, get good with it, and then, oh, that's what I was saying. If you have a specific niche or a specific type of audience that you're trying to connect with and reach, just be honest. I don't know if your personal story, what you're going through, has anything to do with your business at all, but I really find that a lot of times when people share their personal stories, and they just get honest as much as they feel comfortable. A lot of times people are able to really resonate with that a lot more. They tend to want to support a lot more. And that might be helpful to you to really get like your people, like I was kind of talking about earlier in this, of finding your people and kind of setting yourself up for success. But I think you definitely can do it. You definitely can do it. Let's see. Totally agree. Oh, wait, hold on. Create a 40 days of faith journal. Oh, yes, that's a great idea. That's a wonderful idea. You definitely should do that. And then that allows for people to kind of put their own, whatever situation they're in, they can take their own situation, seek God in that, and then they have that kind of structure for them to follow. I love that idea. See, this is what I'm talking about. I love that so much. Such a good idea. I'll definitely pray about it. Yes, definitely do. Oh, you get your planners tomorrow. Oh, I hope you love them. All right. Hey, Tatiana. Audiobook is a good idea as well. Okay, so does anybody have any more questions? I can't believe I've been on here almost an hour. Jeez. I'm getting ready to go spray some of these planner covers, but I feel like I'm missing one. But I don't know where it is. Any other questions before I hop off of here? I just want y'all to just, if you think about me for any reason, which probably you wouldn't, but if I happen to just grace your mind for a hot second at some point within the next 24 hours, just send me prayers for peace. As I try to get these last orders out, I'm just working really hard as I can to get them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Thank you. I really enjoy your channel. You will be in my prayers. Thank God for you. I want to teach people how to pray effectively, and I'm willing to share my story to all. Yes, and that's definitely the thing. So like even if you did, and I was gonna say, I'm getting right into what you said, but I'm glad that you're enjoying the channel, and I appreciate the kind words and the prayers. Thank you so much. But no, I was gonna say this is for anybody. Like if you have a story to tell, if you have a mission that you're on to help people do something, expand on that. That is the value that I always talk about of like, giving your audience the value. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Is that 9? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes. I'm trying to count the discs one more time. My husband put these in here, but I'm just trying to make sure that there is actually 9 in each one because I don't want nobody to be mad if it's not. Can somebody remind me what I was saying? I have no idea. Thank you for your time. Prayers up. Sending lots of prayers your way. I appreciate you guys so much. I really, really do. I know that I can get it done, but it's just like, it's a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm hoping this time next year I will have somebody helping me with this. That is definitely one of my goals for next year is to get some help. So I'm definitely hoping that'll be the case. I don't remember what I was saying, which is sad because I felt like it was good. But yes, but the main thing I'm just going to say, and that'll be a great way to kind of close this out, is just really think about whatever type of business you are starting. I know that we are talking about stationery, we're talking about paper products and stickers and different things like that, and a lot of people might feel like it's very surface level and all of that, but just like I do with my clients, I really encourage them to think so much beyond just the product they're trying to create and really think about the person's life that they're trying to change or impact. And, even with like my business planner, for example, yes, it's a planner, it can be cute. You can put stickers in there and all of that stuff. But at the end of the day, I really created a planner to really help people to have some accountability and to be more consistent with businesses that can change generations, right? It can change their lives. It can give them the freedom to do things that they love. So yes, it's a planner on the outside, but it's so much deeper than that. And I know that meaning. And so I'm always trying to portray that message or that value to people. So the same for you, really think about that. with whatever you decide to create. And the fact that you're saying you want to teach people how to pray and just get closer to their faith and everything, that is a beautiful mission to be on. And people will find so much value in that. And once they have that value and they see, you know, just how encouraging you are or how much of an expert you are, whatever the case is, then just naturally they usually will want to support you. They'll want to see what you have to offer outside of the value. They'll want to, you know, check you out and purchase and different things like that. But it definitely takes time. It's like building a relationship, and it really has to come from an authentic place. Okay, so I think I'm gonna go. Have you thought about setting up that Buy Me a Coffee platform? I feel like you always drop gems on top of supporting your business. It would be nice to just send you a little something. Oh no, I have actually seen that before. I don't drink coffee though, but I guess I could maybe use it for something else. Maybe I'll look into that and see. That is a good idea, and I appreciate that. I love to give you guys as much tips and support and encouragement as I can, because I know that it's not always the easiest to find that out here, and not everybody's always willing to share everything. So thank you, and I'm glad that you would want to do that for me. That's really, really sweet. But no, I don't have anything set up like that now, but I'll look into it maybe during my break while I have a moment to just kind of like woosah and think and think straight for a little bit. All right, so I think I'm gonna go. I'm gonna just wait just a tad longer, just see if anyone has any other questions, because I know there's a delay. But I hope you guys have a great rest of this week, a great weekend. Vlogmas will be starting back up tomorrow, so Thursday I have like a vlog going up, and then I'm going through the rest of next week into Christmas, and then that will be it. And then I will basically kind of be like MIA until January, of course, because I cannot remember my password to do Super Chat. Oh, I always forget about, yes, Super Chat is on here. I always forget about Super Chat. I guess that is an option. I forgot about that. But I appreciate it. I really do. All right, so I'm going to go. I'm going to save this live because I think this was actually really good. You guys had some amazing questions, and I'm glad I had a chance to vent to y'all about this process with these planners. But yeah, that's it. So I'm going to go work on these orders, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.